Hello everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Are you fine? I hope so. Well, this is Tomesho Taikon here and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, that is Learn EE with TT. If you haven't yet subscribed for my channel, do subscribe for the channel and get notified for amazing and exciting videos to learn. Alright? So well, today I'm here with my video number 3 and lesson number 2, that is on 7 tricky interview questions. Okay, so let's discuss this one by one, that what are these important interview questions and how to answer them effectively, or how should you answer them. So I'm also giving you the questions as well as the answer. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss that what is this interview called and why is it so important and how long does it go. So what is interview? Interview is basically a face-to-face meeting. Alright, and sometimes an individual or group of professionals, they ask you certain questions and you are expected to give them answer. Alright, so these days interviews are conducted face to face and telephonically, and can also be conducted through video conferencing like me and you are talking here. And why is it so important? Interview, I must say, that has become an integral part of almost all the education institutions and all the companies, whether you talk about private companies, public companies, multinational corporations, anywhere it has become an integral part. Why? Because it checks our personality, it checks our attitude, it checks our behavior, and it also checks that, okay, do we meet the required skill set for a particular job or not. Alright, so that's why it is important. And how long does it go? See, basic screening is a part of almost all kind of job, whether you talk about private job or government job, or whether a kind of entry to some prestigious institutes. The basic screening is done everywhere. So basic screening just goes for 4 to 5 minutes, and if you pass the basic screening test or kind of basic screening questions, then you will be sent to the further rounds. Alright, so I'm going to here discuss these the basic questions, basic screening questions, so everybody must be aware about these things, then how to answer them. Okay, so let's discuss them one by one. So the first question is, tell me something about yourself. This seems very easy to answer, but I must tell you it's very tricky questions. Why it's tricky? Because 70% people get rejected just because of these questions. And I'm here going to tell you some few things, just keep them in mind and start working on them. Now, so the first thing is, whenever you start telling about yourself, do not start your introduction with myself. You might have heard many people saying myself Ankita, myself Pooja, myself, whatever is their name. Right, but you should never ever start your sentence with a reflexive pronoun. Alright, this is grammatical rule. And like myself, themselves, these all are called reflexive pronoun. Okay, so you should never ever start your sentence with a reflexive pronoun. Okay, and the second thing is that when people, whenever you are telling about yourself, do not start telling about your family. Some people, they start telling about their family history, my father, my mother, my father name, my mother name, all these things. This is not required. Okay, you just need to tell about yourself only. Alright, and another important thing is that when somebody is asking about you, tell me something about yourself. I've seen many candidates, they just say about their name and they stop. See guys, this is a descriptive questions, and HR is expecting you to speak at least 2 minutes for your about yourself only, or 1 minute or 2 minutes at least he is expecting you to speak. Some people just say, my name is Tomeshwar and I am from this place, that's all, and they stop. But you need to tell them about your work experience. You also need to tell about your education, from where have you done your education, and you also need to tell about your skill set. Alright, so keep these things in your mind. So these are a few things, just keep in your mind. Okay, now come to the second question, that is tell me something about your hometown. This again becomes tricky for many candidates, because they cannot, they do not come with exact preparations. All right, so if you are going for interview, you must be knowing your hometown well, and you must do the famous places of your hometown. You must do the famous festivals of your hometown, famous dishes of your hometown. So all these things you should be knowing in advance, so that whenever HR will ask you such kind of questions, so you can just tell them very quickly. Otherwise, most of the candidate, what they do, they cannot answer this question because they do not do preparation earlier and they just got stuck there. And it also checks your language also. All right, so try to be fluent as well whenever you are telling about your your hometown as well. Okay. Okay, the next question is, tell me something about your hobbies. Okay, see guys, this is again a very tricky questions, and most of the candidates, what mistake they do in order to make their CV impressive. They mention such hobbies which are not their hobbies actually. And I must tell you guys, this is a smart move, but you must remember one thing, that HR is more smarter than you, okay? Because if you are mentioning their reading as your hobby, and if the HR will ask the question that, okay, which last book have you read? Okay, may I know who is your favorite writer? What kind of books you like to read? So again, you will be caught there. All right. So mention those hobbies which are genuinely your hobbies, and it might be sleeping. Okay, so say sleeping. My hobby is sleeping. Nothing more. All right. He will what he will ask then. He will ask nothing. Okay. He can ask, or he can only ask that. Okay, how long do you sleep, or what? All right. This kind of questions you can ask. It's very intelligent questions. And I must tell you that only 1% candidate, they ask these questions very effectively. What is the questions? The question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? See guys, why it is most difficult question to answer? Because most of the candidates, they do not know about their strengths and weaknesses. And when HR asked about their strength, they start telling about their subjects area, right? I'm good at mathematics, I'm good at reasoning, I'm good at English. They don't know how to do these kind of things, okay? They just want to know your strength as a person. And when they ask about weaknesses, you start telling about weaknesses like emotional. I'm very emotional. I'm very lazy person. These kind of weaknesses you start counting, right? But see guys, do not mention your weaknesses. One thing. And if you are mentioning your weakness, mention such weakness which may look like your strength. That is a smart answer. That happens with me. I must share with you my experience. Okay, most of the time when people when HR, they ask me question that, okay, what is your strength, I used to say positive attitude. And when they ask me that, okay, what is your weakness, I say over positive. Okay, so it's a strength also, and it's a weakness also, so you need to say this kind of thing. All right. Okay. And if you don't know about your strengths and weaknesses, I must tell you that do self analysis. Daily sit for some time alone. Okay, start thinking about yourself, start introspecting about yourself, that, okay, in which area, what kind of a person I am actually. All right. Analyze yourself. If you are not getting the answer, then ask your friends or a family member. Definitely you are going to know about your more strengths and weaknesses. All right. And start consulting a counselor if you even do not get the answer. And if you do not get even the answer, then come to me. I'll analyze you, I'll help you to analyze, and I'll help you to find out that what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. Okay? The next question is very tempting questions. Very tempting question. The question is, how much salary do you expect? It's tempting, right? Yes. And this actually, what is the mistake we do while answering these questions? Most of the candidates, what mistake they do? Sometimes candidates overestimate themselves, and sometimes they underestimate themselves by telling the figure. Right? Sometimes people can say, okay, my monthly expectation is 20,000. They might be paying you 30,000, but why did you say the 20,000? They will lock your salary and they will pay only 20,000. But and sometimes people overestimate themselves. Might be company standard might be only to pay 20 to 30,000, but you are saying that, okay, I must be getting 1 lakh per month. All right. So this is again a problem for you. See guys, if you want to answer this question very smartly, just say that if you are a fresher, just say that, okay, it must be according to the company standard. If they emphasize more, sometime they keep emphasizing more that, okay, at least what is your expectation, please tell us, let us know. So do not say your expectation, just say that, sir, I am fresher, I don't know about the company standard, so it must be according to the company's standard only. All right. Okay. And if you are experienced, so obviously it must be 10 to 20% hike from your last withdrawn salaries. You can say like this one. All right. And the next question is very smart, very tricky, and very intelligent question, I must say. And the question is, where would you like to see yourself after 5 years? Okay. See guys, most of the candidate, what mistake they do while answering this question, they start telling a lot of things. Okay, they start telling that, okay, I'll be working with top brands of the country, or you can say that I'll be working in USA or in UK with some other company. Right. See guys, think logically that, okay, if you are going to work in some other companies after 5 years, why will they give you job right now, right? So the smart answer, you should answer smartly, right? So the answer is, what answer should you give? You should answer that, okay, I want to see myself in a reputed position of your company. I want to see myself in the reputed position of your company. That is the smart answer. Or during my sessions, during my session, one student gave me the very good answer when I was explaining this thing. She gave me answer that, okay, I want to see, if HR is asking to you that, okay, where would you like to see yourself after 5 years? You just need to simply say that I want to see myself in your position after 5 years. Okay, so this is again a very smart answer. You need to give such kind of answer because it will check your determinations, it will check your commitment to the companies, and that you need to show also there. Okay, so be smart, not crazy. Or the seventh tricky question is, why do you want to work with us? Again, this is very tricky, and most of the candidates are unable to answer this question because they go with less preparation, I must say that, or very less preparation, because they don't do any kind of preparation. They don't know about the company's background. They don't bother that, okay, we are just going for interview, we are just going for the job. But see guys, you must be knowing wherever you are going for the interview, you must know the company's name, you must know that how old is the company, or you must know that what is its specialty, and such kind of things. This you can do by browsing internet, okay, just finding the company's website and search about it first, and then go for the interview. All right, if you are going without preparation, I must tell you that you are in the trouble, you are going to be in trouble. All right, the HR will involve you somewhere. Okay, he'll ask you some another tricky questions. Okay, why do you want to join us? And then you will say that, okay, your company is good company, what is good in us? They can ask this kind of questions. All right, so this is, you need to answer this question also very smartly. Okay, so these all are the 7 tricky questions which I shared with you. I hope that you have found them very useful and very effective, and you have learned something new today, I guess. Okay, so share these things with all your friends so that whenever they are going for some interview, so they can get the idea that, okay, how they need to prepare themselves for the interview. All right, and another important thing is that, okay, if you want to, HR can also ask some other questions also, that depends upon the nature of the job. And if you want to take the complete this one, I have started one program here, JTP, Job Training and Placement Program, where I'm going to cover complete interview preparation package. All right, there I'll be discussing that what the interviews are and on which job how do you need to answer. Okay, I'll be discussing more than 300 questions there, and more than 300 to 500 questions will be discussed there, and how should be your dressing sense, how should you make CV, and all those things will be mentioned over there. Alright, so you can join my program, you can come here, or you can mention you can refer it to your friends. Once again, thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing for the channel. Please keep liking, keep sharing, and keep commenting. I'm very glad that I've got a fantastic subscriber, I've got a fantastic learner. I am very grateful for that. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.